Have you ever heard the term iBuyer but you didn't know what it was? Or maybe you're familiar with the term but you still have some questions about what the process is? Today we're going to go over the pros and cons of using an iBuyer versus selling your home on the open market. Hi, my name is Trenten Ward. I'm a real estate agent with eXp Realty in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. I release real estate related topics like this and more on a regular basis, so stay tuned for that. And please show me some love by hitting that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's get into the content. Let's start by defining what an iBuyer really is. So depending on the company, you'll see a few different representations of what the I means in iBuyer. The I is most commonly referred to as instant, so an instant buyer. You'll also see internet buyer, institutional buyer, and several others. But basically this means that there's this large organization that buys houses and resells them on the open market so they can get top dollar for the purchase that they made from you. The most common of these companies are going to be OfferPad, Open Door, and there's several other big players out there in the market. So let's get into some of the pros and cons of using an iBuyer versus a traditional sale. The first one we're going to start with is price. Now, on the upside, this is a large corporation, so they have a ton of cash and a big reputable brand for them to back the offer that they give to you. And that can give you a sense of comfort because you know that they have enough money to purchase your property, so funding the deal is not an issue. This can also be attractive if you've been burned in the past before, because it is a risk when you go under contract with anyone, even the larger corporations. There's a risk of the buyer not being able to come to the closing table and close the deal. Now on the flip side of that, when you get the offer, don't expect it to be a competitive offer because they're not competing. That's the benefit of them getting to you before it goes on the open market and you get 100 buyers starting to look at your property. So next on the list are fees. So when you choose to go with a real estate agent, you'll typically pay a commission to the real estate agent, and that commission is split in half between the listing agent and the buyer agent that brings you the buyer that's going to buy your home. With an iBuyer, they typically say they don't charge you a commission, but they kind of reword it to say it's a service fee, which is essentially a commission because it's a percentage of the price of the property. Now the amount of this service fee can vary greatly. It can be anything from around 6% all the way up to 14%. So be very cautious when you see the service fee, because not only are they giving you a low offer, they're also going to charge you a fee on top of that. So next on the list are repairs. So one of the allures of using an iBuyer is that you don't have to do any of the repairs that it would need to sell for top dollar on the open market. Now this can be very attractive to you if you know you need a lot of things done to the property, but you don't have the capacity to do it yourself or hire contractors or any of the above. A lot of people look at this as a very stress-free way to sell the property, especially if they know that the house needs some work and they don't want to actually do the work. Now on the flip side of that, you're going to pay a hefty premium for that service, because this is one of the biggest ways they actually make their money. They don't want you to do the repairs, because when they do the repairs, they get to charge you a premium on top of that. They're definitely not going to charge you what it actually costs, because they have to manage it. They have to hire local people to do the jobs. After the inspection, you can expect to get hit with mandatory repair costs that they'll expect you to pay at the closing of when they buy the property. And you can see this 5 to 10 times, even more, of what you would actually pay if you hired somebody local to do the repairs yourself. But if you're somebody that doesn't really care how much these things cost and you just want to be done with it, this can be a great option for you. Another thing to note is that they rarely negotiate on this part, because they've already got you under contract, you've already committed. So chances are you're already planning to move to your next property. Maybe you've already put the down payment down and you're just waiting for them to close. Now there's plenty of stories of them coming the day before closing and then asking for the sellers to contribute $8,000 more or $10,000 more for the repairs because they found something that they didn't consider in the first iteration. And then you're about to move into your new property. What can you do? You have to just pay the money so you can move on and continue on with your life. So in summary, an iBuyer is a viable option if you're somebody that doesn't really care about how much you make on the sale of your property. Some people don't mind losing tens of thousands of dollars when selling their property if they don't have to show the property on the weekends or during the week, or they want to close really fast and with a company that has a reputable name. So if you're someone that wants to sell your house for top dollar and make the most out of the sale of your property, you're going to need to put it on the open market with a real estate agent. So what you would do is contact your local real estate agent and ask them for a listing presentation. And in this presentation, they will go over what they think you could sell the house for and all the fees they would charge to sell your property. Now, when you go under contract with a real estate agent, the fees don't change. Whatever percentage you all agree to is the percentage that you will pay. And remember, with a real estate agent, their success is tied to your success. So the more money you make, the more money they make. The less money you make, the less money they make. So your goals are aligned with each other. But on the flip side, with an iBuyer, their goal is to buy your house for as little as possible and you to make as little as possible on the sale. So your interests are not aligned. If you found this content helpful, please give me a thumbs up, show me some love, subscribe if you want to hear more content like this, and I'll talk to you later. Peace. iBuyer is a viable. Oh my God, don't mind. Somebody that want. So if you're someone, so depending on the company, you'll see a different representations. Okay, no, kinda. Have you? Come on.